Hi guys, we're going to do a quick review of degrees of the scale and how to write scales starting on different degrees. Normally, a major scale is written starting on the note of the same name. For example, C major starts on C, the E flat major scale starts on E flat, the F sharp major scale starts on F sharp, and so on. This is the tonic. Normally, scales are starting on the tonic when we write or play them, which is the first degree of the scale. However, we can start on any degree that we want. The 7 degrees of the scale are listed here, along with the Roman numeral and their number, and I did an example for you in D major. So in D major, I found out the key signature using the line. The key signature of D major is 2 sharps, so F sharp and C sharp, and I wrote the scale out in order here: D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp. Then we have the degrees of the scale over here. So the first degree of the scale is the tonic, which is D. The second degree is the supertonic, which is E. The third degree is the mediant, which is F sharp. Fourth degree is the subdominant, which is G. The fifth degree of the scale is the dominant, which is A. The sixth degree is the submediant, which is B. And then the seventh degree of the scale is the leading tone, which is C sharp. You can see down here. Then we work through a few examples. So in the key of E flat major, what is the tonic, the submediant, and the mediant? So again, using my line, I know that the key signature of E flat major is battle ends and, or B flat, E flat, and A flat. So I wrote out my scale here with the degrees underneath them. So for the first degree, I want to figure out, the first question here is, what's the tonic of E flat major? So the tonic is the first degree of the scale. So in this case, the tonic is E flat. The second question is, what is the mediant? I know the mediant is the third degree of the scale. So in this example, the mediant is G. Finally, the submediant, which is the sixth degree of the scale, in this case is a C. Make sure when you're counting, you count E flat or the tonic as number 1. Otherwise, all of these are going to be shifted by 1, and your answers won't be correct. The next example, in the key of A major, what are the subdominant, the leading tone, and the supertonic? So I wrote the scale of A major here. So I know that it has an F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. So the subdominant is the fourth degree of the scale. So my answer is going to be D. The leading tone is the seventh degree of the scale. So my answer is going to be G sharp. And the supertonic is the second degree of the scale. So my answer is going to be B. Now, when you draw these starting on different degrees of the scale, if I want you to start the A major scale on D, you're going to draw from D up to D and back down again. You're not going to stop at A or only go up as far as A and then come down. You still have to do 8 notes going up and then back down to your original note. So don't forget, you always have to figure out your key signature first. So how do we do these questions when they're on your assignment, culminating, or the exam? So the first example is write the scale of D flat major using whole notes, but starting on the mediant instead of the tonic. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to add a double bar line to your staff, and that'll give you your first mark right there. Second, you're going to determine the key signature and write it on the staff. D flat major has a 5 underneath, so it has 5 flats. It's on the flat side. So remember, it's battle ends and down goes. So my flats are B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat. So I'm going to put those on the staff: B flat, E flat, A flat, D flat, and G flat. And remember, you don't want them right above or below the next one. You want to be able to tell what order they're in on the staff. So the next thing we're going to do is determine the starting note. So for D flat major, my starting note is the mediant of D flat major. So I'm going to count D flat, E flat, F. The mediant is the third degree of the scale, so I'm going to start on F. So I'm going to draw my F right there. Then I'm going to draw the scale ascending and descending. So I'm going to go F to F and back down again. And that's it. You're going to get a mark for the double bar line, a mark for the key signature, a mark for using the note I asked for. So in this case, it was whole notes, a mark for starting on the right note, and a mark for having all the correct notes there. So that's 5 marks total. In the next example, we're going to look at E major using whole notes and starting on the submediant, which is the 6th degree of the scale. So first, we're going to add a double bar line. We're going to do this in a bass clef example. Using the line below, we're going to determine the key signature and write it on the staff. So E major has a 4 underneath it. See, it's right here on the sharp side. So there are 4 sharps in the key of E major: F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. So I'm going to put those on the staff: F sharp, C sharp, G sharp, and D sharp. And make sure you're watching your clef and you know if you're in bass or treble clef. Next, we're going to figure out our starting note. So in the key of E major, we want the submediant. The submediant is the 6th note, so we're going to count and use your fingers. It's the easiest way to do it. So E, F, G, A, B, C. So I'm going to start on C. So I've put my note here, and actually I've really started on C sharp, because if you look back at the key signature, C is sharp. And then I'm going to draw C to C and back down again. Remember, when you're drawing these scales, you want to draw them with the least amount of ledger lines. So if I had started on the C below the staff, it would have been a couple ledger lines below. And if I'd started here, obviously it would have been way above the staff. So I like to start in the middle. So that's it for drawing scales on different degrees of the scale. If you have any questions, either leave a comment below or you can send me an email, and hopefully this will help. Go over step by step how to do this and pause the video where you need to work through your examples. Thanks.